Vivek Ramaswamy, thanks to Jillian, the author of Nation of Victims. Thank you very much for joining us, Vivek. Just as a reminder as we enter this discussion that this was General Milley on white rage. This is from a 2021 House Armed Services Committee budget hearing. Listen to this.
But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university. And it is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it.
So there's a really interesting moment there where he was defending our military's approach to addressing racism and extremism. And now we see where we are today with this Reagan National Defense Survey of trust and confidence in the U.S. military, as we just noted, now down to 48% as of November 2022, Vivek.
Well, look, it turns out that the U.S. military fell a staggering 25% short of its recruitment goals this year. That is a big deal. And it turns out that if, as a nation, you are constantly engaged in self-criticism, forgetting the ideals of that nation, but just engaging in self-criticism, especially along axes of identity politics like race and sexual orientation, then fewer young Americans want to serve in that military. And so I think our national security and our national spirit go hand in hand, but it is the responsibility of the military to look after its unique purpose, which is to protect Americans from foreign threats, period. And when the military itself veers from that purpose and itself becomes a vehicle for becoming a form of self-criticism of the United States, that's when you see the decline of trust in the military and, unfortunately, a decline in the willingness of people to serve in the military. Sadly, that's where we are today.
Well, when you look, when asked in that Reagan National Defense Survey, if woke practices decreased Americans' confidence in the military, a majority said, 50%, a great deal. I should say half said a great deal, or some. Vivek, you see this and you wonder if the Pentagon is going to take a message from this.
I would certainly hope so. I mean, when any institution veers from its main purpose, people trust that institution less. The military is not an exception. And General Mark Milley and others like him may think that they're actually exhibiting greater empathy, that they're exhibiting greater nuance by saying that they want to understand aspects of our nation's history and its failures. I don't necessarily object to that on its face, but when you go the layer of then indoctrinating your ranks with critical race theory, with divisive ideologies, people are less unified in wanting to defend that nation. So even if it comes from a good place, I think it's clear now that it's had a toxic effect, and this should not be a bipartisan issue. It's ultimately really important that we have a military staffed by people who have confidence and enthusiasm to serve this country. I hope they wake up.
I want to get this in here as well, because I know it's something that you have been talking about, and it's in the medical industry. This is a former UPenn associate dean telling Fox and Friends first that medical schools are virtue signaling with their new curriculum, and doctors are talking about the impact that is having on medicine now. Listen to this.
The diagnosis that's been made is that there's racism in healthcare that's producing this disparate outcome. The difficulty is there's no evidence that that's true. There are thousands of studies that are terrible that don't prove the point. This seems to be a virtue signaling activity that's gone on, and I think it's way more than half. It's probably all the medical schools.
Wow. Vivek, what is the risk with medical schools virtue signaling?
So look, I think that this is just another symptom of a cancer that has infected one institution of American life after another. Turns out medicine is not an exception. And when you racialize something, you ultimately silence actually open debate, because people are afraid of being called racist. So the supposed studies in favor of finding systemic racism, say in the medical system, those get published, whereas any contrary studies will not get published because of the culture of fear. You actually saw the editor-in-chief of The Lancet, one of the top medical magazines, was forced to step down for even allowing a podcast where a participant in that podcast said that they did not believe that there was systemic racism in medicine. So I think that's created this culture of fear that stifles open dialogue and debate. And I will tell you, the progress of science, the progress of medicine, the progress of any field depends on free speech and open debate. And I think this culture of so-called anti-racism has put a wet blanket on that dialogue.
Vivek, appreciate you joining us on all that. Thank you. A lot to think about there, John.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.